Hey guys, Scotland's Football here, back with another video, and today we're doing a slightly different video, and we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be summing up Wolves 2021 to 2022 season. I just want to talk about how well it's gone and how well it hasn't really gone. First of all, the main thing is, it's not been a bad season, it hasn't been the best either. Last season, when Nuno had his final season, football that season was dire, and we've had our moments this season just gone as well. I think what has killed us this season is the lack of goals. We've had opportunity where we could have scored and we should have scored, and we deserved to score, but didn't score them. And we don't deserve the goals we've scored doesn't suggest the amount of chances we've had this season. I think what else has killed us off is the home record, which has been very poor. But the away record's actually been pretty good though. It's a bit like Stafford Rangers. Poor home record, really good away record. I know we're not talking about Stafford Rangers, but I'm just giving you an example basically, that's all. I think at the start we started off well despite 3 defeats and we outplayed. In the first 3 games we lost 1-0, but in at least 2 of the games we outplayed the opposition and we came away with nothing, especially Tottenham at home. Which is what Dele Alli's only penalty. But I'm just going to talk about what I don't think has gone too good this season. I talked to you about the goals and the poor home record, but I just think so the performances the players have put in this season as well. And towards the end of the season, I think Bruno kind of lost the dressing room. It'll be hopefully he gets a bit more of a back in next season, because Fosun, right? They don't invest on good players and stuff. Really, you bring in players and then they just don't perform. I thought last season the Fosun, Nuno left. He didn't leave. He was going to get sacked anyway. Personally, I thought they should have given him another season, considering the amount of the injuries we've had, like to Raul Jimenez and Neto as well, Johnny. We had quite a few players out. So I'm just going to sum up some of the squad here. Despite some that are leaving, I'm just going to sum up the old squad. Jose Sarr, for me, player of the season. He's done an excellent job in replacing Roy Patricio. And John Ruddy, he hardly ever plays, but he's been a fantastic backup keeper when you need him. And the amount of performances he put in the Championship, a bargain for Norwich, honestly. On some of the players in the defence, Rain Aït-Nouri, left back. He can't really defend that well, but he got pace and he has actually improved on defending. He has. Willy Boly, he's been a bit injury prone this season, but when he plays, he's not a bad player. He was with us in the season we got promoted to the Premier League. Conor Coady, he's been with us since 2015. He's been with us about 7 years into the field. Since coming into Wolves, as a defender, he scored the most goals as a defender in a season, scoring 4 compared to the only 1 goal in the 17-20 and 2020-21 season. For me, he's a leader. Don't get rid of him, because he needs to say he's a massive leader in the dressing room. But unfortunately, he can't always defend the best at times, though. But we'll always love Coady, though. And he's in the England team, of course. Southgate loves Coady. Now, Toti Gomez, he signed a deal for about 2027, is it? I think another 5 years. He needs to be given more chances, to be honest. Only 4 appearances this season. He's a good player. When he came back on, his own deal ended at Grasshoppers and he came back to us. I think myself, who would have had it? I never knew much about Toti Gomez. I hadn't really heard of him until he came back. And Kilman, some of the performances he's done well this season. There's some of the performances he hasn't done as well in, because he's like worrying about his Ukrainian family that have been like having problems in Ukraine, being stuck in Ukraine. But he has been a good player for us. Romain Saiss, last few games he hasn't played as good, but he has been with us since the 2016-17 season. He stuck with us when we were struggling. Semedo, he's not been a bad player. He has improved this season, he has, since Matt Doherty left. And I want to talk about Johnny. He had, last season, he came back after injury, and then we played him in the first team far too early, and he got injured again. And we put him in slowly this season. He has started some games fully if some players are out injured. But 2 goals since coming back. He's not the same player, but he has had some great performances. Like, I just wanted to talk to you about Hoover and Marcel. Ki-Jana Hoever, he's not Premier League level. I was surprised when we brought him in from Liverpool. Really. Not good enough for me. I think he needs to go or just get some serious development on literally just going out on loan or something. And Marcel, me, not good enough. He wasn't good enough for me when we brought him in, really. He was brought in from Lyon. I was actually quite excited about this signing, but he hasn't really. He's been a waste of space, really, Marcel. And so has Uber. Aït-Nouri and Johnny are way better left backs than them. We don't need them. Hoover's actually a right back, actually. We got Semedo anyway, and we got 2 left backs ahead of Marcel anyway. But I do want to talk to you about the midfielders now. Dendoncker, he hasn't been good enough, but he has got 2 goals and 2 assists. He has got that amount, but he's just too slow for me and not very creative. But he has had a few goals when he has played okay though. João Moutinho, next season he will probably be going. He signed for 5 million in the season we came into the Premier League. Absolute bargain. That was 5 million from Monaco. Next season, I think he'll give it one more season next season and stay and sign at least a 1-year deal. He's still at it, but next season he'll probably finish next season and he'll probably go into retirement or leave. I just want to talk about Neves a lot here, right? Because Neves, right, he's rumoured that he might be leaving, and some of the things on social media, posts and stuff, he looks very emotional, waving goodbye to the fans. It looks like he's leaving. Apparently, he has put his house on the market. It'll be interesting to see if he goes. Anyway, if he goes, that can be respected as he wants to win trophies, where we're not going to win trophies for a while here at Wolves. You look at Diogo Jota. He stayed with for 3 seasons, but did an excellent job. But when he went on to Liverpool to win more trophies, which he has done, and he actually scored more goals in the Premier League than he did in the Premier League with us. So everyone keep your eyes out on the Neves situation. Right to forwards now, and the strikers, of course. I'm going to start closely at Raul Jimenez first. After last season, he missed more than half season, nearly all the season due to the skull injury, and it's lucky that he might have died out there. I didn't think he'd play football ever again, but he has, luckily. But he hasn't had some very good performances this season, partly because he's pretty worried about getting another skull injury if he headed the ball quite hardly. He's probably quite frightened, isn't he? He has had 6 goals and 4 assists though, but for the strikers here at the club, we need a striker with more goals really. In the 18-19 season, 19-20 season, there's 17 in 19-20 season, 18-19 season, 13, Europa League 10. So all competitions in 19-20 season, he had 27 goals. That's when he was the best. He was at it, but now since coming back, he's not really at it. When we brought him in, he was an excellent player. He really was. I think he's 31 now. I think he could retire early. This might be the end of Raul Jimenez. But we'll still always like him at the club. I'm going to go on to Fabio Silva now. He still has no goals. He's been a pretty much a flop since we brought him in. But when he has come on, despite not scoring or getting assists, he has looked okay though. I'm going to go on to Hwang Can and also Trincao here, the loan sides. Hwang Can, he started off well. He's the second highest scorer at the club, but he's only got 1 assist. He's not really a creative player. towards the end of the season, he's had some sambles of performance that he really has. I believe, not sure here, but he is. I think he's a permanent signing. But if he is, he needs to be a lot better next season. And on Trincao, who's on loan from Barcelona, he has had a really poor season, really. But towards the end of the season, he's actually started performing. Do we permanently sign him? Not sure, really. Not quite sure about that because we often waste money on permanently signing players and they don't perform for us. So I don't think he's enough to re-sign. I'd send him back personally. Now I'm going to talk about Neto. He's come back from injury. He's finally getting there, but it will take a while. We don't want to rush him back in really fast because if we do that won't do him any good personally. Which we haven't, and he is finally getting there. Hopefully he gets there more next season. I want to talk about Podence here. He's the best winger at the club, the best creative player. He might not be one of the highest scorers, but he's definitely there when you need him, and he's a creative player. We've had a few injuries this season, which have killed him slightly as well. I want to talk about Triquinho here, who we brought in from Estoril from Portugal in the Portuguese league. He has 3 assists this season, no goal. He's actually, looking on performances towards the end of the season, he's been one of our best players. Really. I just want to say about Bruno Lage here. We haven't really had a much better season compared to last season, except finishing 3 or 4 places higher than we did last season. This season we weren't good enough for you and we didn't get it. I do want to talk about some of the best and worst moments here. The worst home moment I have seen is, I can name a few of them actually, but I'll name a couple. Brighton where we lost 3-0 at home. Palace we lost 2-0 at home. Maybe Leeds 3-2 at home. We started off well, but we had 2 goals in the first half and we could have possibly had 3 or 4. The second half we had a sending off. Controversial sending off, really about him there. It's a bit 50-50 really. But no, he was on his second yellow though, so that's why he got sent off. If he wasn't on a first yellow, he might have got sent off anyway, who knows. But every time, in the second half, Leeds looked like scoring every time they went forward due to the sending off. The defending for those 3 goals was appalling despite the sending off. That, and some of these slip-ups to teams in bottom half, we needed to win and we slipped up against some of them. And you could also say Norwich won 1 at home, to be honest. Because we were 1-0 down, then we got a goal back though. But 1-1 against a team in the bottom 20th who've already been relegated is disgraceful. The worst away moments I've known is Palace losing 2-0 away. We lost twice to them this season, and Arsenal 2-1. Hwang Chan, he got the opening goal, but after that we sat back for the rest of the game thinking we've won it, and you can't do that in football presuming you've won. You've got to go all the way to the final 90 minutes plus the additional time. You can't waste time in football. All clubs do it and you just don't know why they do it. Sometimes to see out the game, but that cannot always be the best thing though. Keep playing until most of the game, until the last minute when you've already known you've won, but nothing else past then though. Really to be playing for the final whistle though. The worst home, the best away moments and home moments were probably Villa at home. Villa at home we won 2-1, could have been 4-1, and maybe Southampton at home as well, where he actually put in a decent performance. But I'll put Villa as the best one at home, and for away wins, I'm going to say Villa away because we came from 2-0 down to win 3-2 away at Villa, and maybe 1-0 win at United as well. They're probably the best home and away moments. Next, I just wanted to talk about some of the players that are leaving. John Rudd is leaving, but he don't play as much now, and he said, I don't know if he said going on to another club. But 35, I think he might be looking at retiring maybe. Anyway, he's done a fantastic job for the club though. I wish him all the best. And Fernando Marcel is leaving as well, he confirmed. Personally, I'm not too bothered about that really. He hasn't done enough for me. He has been pretty awful really. But I wasn't too sure on him really. But anyway, in the meantime, I do wish him all the best though. Wish him all the best, despite it not being the best play for him. I always think that service to a club should always be appreciated. So good luck to wherever Marcel goes to. So next bit is about Neves could be leaving. Apparently his house has been sold, but there's no news on where he could be going though. Everyone keep closely on that one, and I will as well. As Safe might be going, he said as nothing has been agreed on his contract at the moment, it's looking certain and likely that he'll be leaving. Hopefully that situation gets sorted. Personally, I think we need some big clear out before next season and bring in some better players. With Marcel going, which he is, and Rudis going, and maybe Neves going, but he hasn't yet, I think probably need a few more players that are going really. Maybe Sace, maybe. I say Dendoncker. If Hwang is permanent, or is he on loan, I'll send him back. Trinkel, send back. If we did get sent back, I wish him all the best though. I think Raul Jimenez, that is a controversial one really, but it's not his fault he's had this injury and he hasn't come back the same though, has he? But we do need somebody who can score more goals, right? Look at Raul Jimenez in the 18-19 19-20 season, scoring for fun. Also, like what do you think about the clear out? One other thing I just wanted to talk about was Adama Traore. We sent him out as he wasn't doing too good, but now he hasn't done much at Barcelona, and Barcelona don't want him. I think he is coming back to us, and that'll be very interesting to see if we move him on to another club or keep him. That'll be very interesting. I'll say his performances haven't been good enough for me. So I'll leave it there now after my thoughts of this season. So I hope you did all enjoy this video. Do get a like, do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And I hope you did all enjoy this video. I hope Wolves have a way better season next season and we go again in the fight for Europe and have a lot better season. Up the Wolves. See you all around, guys. Thank you for listening to this video today. Bye, guys.